Hello everyone, another month in, we have another update for you for Power BI Desktop. Let's look at what we have for you for April. In Report View, we have added a few new features. We have additional style properties on a table, matrix, and multi-row card control. These allow you to style your controls and make them really stand out visually to show the data you need. We have also added trend lines to visuals, and when enabled, these basically show the trend of your data in a new series. We've also added a new drill action to see your records, and basically you can click on any subset of data shown in a visual, and it'll show you the actual data records behind what is being displayed. We have also map auto zoom during drill filter, and this basically just zooms in the map to the data that is currently being shown. And finally, we have inline hierarchy labels for expanded view in preview. And these basically append parent labels to the actual item label at the lowest leaf level in order to distinguish those items. On the data modeling side, we have the following improvements. Modeling operations not while visuals refreshing is a small improvement to the backend engine that should speed things up. We have time intelligence with built-in date hierarchy fields, and this allows you to use the DAX time intelligence features and the dot notation in your formulas. And we also have data model synonyms, which basically allow you to add synonyms in your model to the data, and then you can use this in your queries or to improve the QA experience. For the data connectivity, we have added query parameters, which allow users to create parameters in the query editor and then reference those parameters in different data operations. Then we have Power BI template files, and these files contain a definition of a report, data model, and queries, but not the actual data, so they can be used to streamline workflow. We also have a new online services category in the Get Data dialog box, and also a few new connectors for SharePoint folders, for Web Trends, for Spark Post, and TGraph. We also have conditional columns, and they make it easy for users to create new columns in queries based on values from different columns. We also have direct query, where users can specify direct query or import mode right in the data source dialogs. The column type indicator in query editor preview, basically this just shows the data type of a column right in the column header, so it just makes it easier for a user working with this. You can also reorder queries and query groups with drag and drop gestures. And finally, we have query management menu in the ribbon. And under Manage, it's a new drop-down menu which exposes common management operations such as duplicate, reference, and delete. So let's take a look at some of these new features, and let's start off with the flashiest new feature that allows you to configure a bunch of new visual properties on tables, matrices, and multi-row cards, and make them easier to read and stand out in a presentation. So right here we have a table of some values, and if we go over to the formatting pane, we'll see a bunch of new properties available. So let's try to make this table stand out in a presentation, make it really easy to go through the data and read. So I think I'll first start by increasing the text size, and then I'll move on to the column headers, and maybe I will change the background color to something like this, and the font color to perhaps something like this. And moving on, we can move on to values. Here what we can do is change the background color. So there's a background color setting and also an alternate background color, which is basically for alternating rows. So let's choose something like this. And the alternate backup color can be something like this. And already you can see that it's a lot easier to follow what's in each row. We can also choose to have an outline on the top. And maybe for the total, we can style this by, making it, give it a total color or something like this. Now, there's many different settings here you can set to get the style needed and desired for your table or matrix or multi-row card. Next, let's take a look at trend lines. And if you have some visual controls here showing some data, you can go into the format properties and just enable trend lines to on. And you can also set some visual styles on it, like what type of a line will be shown, the transparency, and so on. And, it's really a simple setting on all the supported visualizations. We have also introduced a new drill action, which allows you to see the data records behind a certain data point. So for example, in this chart, if we go into the drill menu, we can enable the See Records option here. And this means if we click on any of the data points, we can see all the records behind that data point. Alternatively, we can right-click and select if there's multiple drill actions. We can choose the one we want and select it from there to see the records for that data point. Finally, let's take a look at conditional columns and how you can create these. So here in this data model, we have some people, their ages, weights, heights, and their body mass index. And let's just say we want to create a conditional column which classifies these BMIs into underweight, normal, or overweight, or obese. So to do this, we will go into the edit queries, the editor. And here, if we go into the Add Column menu, there's an option here to create a conditional column. And this will pop up the Add Conditional Column dialog. So we can just call these BMI bucket, and we'll add a few conditions here. So if the BMI column name is less than 18.5, we will make the column value underweight. Add another rule. If the BMI option is less than 25, this will be normal. Another one for overweight, and the limit is 30. And we can have a catch-all otherwise for obese. And clicking on OK will create this new column, and which can be used regularly, just like any other data column inside our data set.